OnePlus's new flagships have finally arrived. What's funny is that if you have been following OnePlus over the past few weeks, there was one word that has been associated with the brand name: Hasselblad. Indeed, if OnePlus wanted to attract a wider group of users, it made sense for the brand to announce the cooperation with one of the most well-known luxury camera brands with much fanfare. But the association with Hasselblad isn't really exaggerated, as this time, the new OnePlus flagship definitely feels different. In this OnePlus 9 Pro review, we want to keep aside any bias that the Hasselblad logo may add and want to highlight the qualities of the real phone that the other reviewers may not tell you. I'm Kieran, and welcome to Gizmochina. Let's look at the OnePlus 9 Pro's design. To be honest, it's hard to say that the 9 Pro brings us enough surprise over its design. The 8.7mm thickness and the 197g weight are not so outstanding among plenty of new models coming with a more compact body. But the good news is that the 9 Pro maintains an excellent build quality with OnePlus's unique AG glass processing. The camera module doesn't protrude too much either. After we got our hands on the real model of the OnePlus 9 Pro, we think the pine green variant in our hand is the best looking one among the three colors. By the way, we have one complaint about the position of the fingerprint reader. It's too close to the bottom, which requires you to access it with a really uncomfortable stretch of your thumb. And although OnePlus explained at the launch that it was so proud of the upgrade of the 9 Pro's display, in actual use, we didn't really feel the gap. OnePlus claims the 9 Pro's display is made of LTPO-LED, a new display material that remarkably reduces the power consumption of the excellent high refresh rate display. But in our test, the battery life of the model didn't see any remarkable improvement. But let's talk about it later. Anyway, by far this display is still one of the best phone displays on the planet, having the best colors, the 2K resolution, the 120Hz smooth refresh rate, and probably it does consume less power. However, as ordinary users, we cannot really feel the improvement in battery life. This time, surprisingly, OnePlus decided to abandon the Hydrogen OS and replace it with the ColorOS in all its new China models. ColorOS is an operation system based on Android development by its sister brand, Oppo. So is it bad news for Chinese users? Nope. Actually, the Hydrogen OS has been criticized for years, and most OnePlus users are happy to see the change. But the global OnePlus 9 series still runs the Oxygen OS, so there is no need to worry about it. But our concern is, how does ColorOS perform? Is it much better than the Hydrogen OS? Well, at first glance, there is no significant difference on the UI level. OnePlus has copied the basic design of the Hydrogen OS to the new system and preserved the smooth experience with a similar simplified design, so it's not a problem to get used to it, even if you get the China version. ColorOS processes the traditional advantages of Hydrogen OS. It's light and fast. Quick response is the foundation of Hydrogen OS's survival, but now this advantage has almost disappeared as others have caught up. Another major feature of Hydrogen OS is that it is completely open and closed to the original Android system, and the ColorOS has always been a GMS certified system. There is no obstacle to using original Google services, and there is no problem in managing Google accounts. The icon pack functions that Hydrogen OS fans loved were replaced by ColorOS's personalized customization center. You can not only use ART plus icons in the icon style, but also those compatible icon packs from the Hydrogen OS packs, not to mention the optimization of ColorOS localized services, including game acceleration centers, SoC performance scheduling strategies, energy saving strategies, and the latest LTPO backplane dynamic variable refresh rate algorithm, and localized live services, which are all missing from Hydrogen OS. These are indeed the functions urgently needed by domestic users. Simplicity used to be the main advantage of Hydrogen OS, but at present it's turned to be a downside, pushing OnePlus to change. The brand is short of resources to provide as many features as other systems do. Consequently, the simplified Hydrogen OS wasn't able to keep up with the increasing users' needs. And Oppo ColorOS has higher level of completion with an increase in positive rating. So probably it's time for OnePlus software department to shift their focus to the camera experience and give up struggling with the operating system. And now another question comes. What will they do with the Oxygen OS? Will they abandon the slow evolving Oxygen OS in the same way? Actually, we don't think so in the near future. If OnePlus is to keep a positive image in their global market, the Oxygen OS still has its mission to complete. But what they may do is to integrate some of the features that developed in ColorOS into the Oxygen OS, which probably is a good thing for Oxygen OS to solve the same issue that happened on the Hydrogen OS. Well, most reviews wouldn't really talk about the 9 Pro's gaming performance. Here's our conclusion. By far, it's not ready for gaming. In some benchmark tests, the OnePlus 9 Pro's results couldn't compare to the other flagship models running the same Snapdragon 888 chipset. And even just for running these benchmarks, the OnePlus 9 Pro easily heated up. Then, we weren't really expecting much on its gaming performance. Running Genshin Impact, the average frame rate on the 9 Pro is 39.98 FPS, which is not close to other top flagships from this year. Even if it's for lower power consumption and CPU thermal throttling, the CPU strategy seems relatively conservative. But the fact is that in our battery life tests, the 30 mins gaming consumed 18% of power, which is not really as good as what they claimed. Then we moved on to PUBG Mobile. Since the game has got excellent optimization, we have tested it on so many models. Not just flagships, but also mid-rangers can perform well without any performance throttling down. However, we still met tiny throttling down on the OnePlus 9 Pro with an average frame rate of 57.97 FPS. But don't get me wrong, it's still fluent enough and probably won't perceive it during gaming. But is it necessary to throttle down by 5 FPS in such a light game? But we also got good news in 2K20 Mobile. It's easy for the 9 Pro to access the best performance at 60 FPS without any throttling down issue. The last game we tested is Nemean Legend. What's funny is that the OnePlus 9 Pro didn't finish the 20 mins gaming test and the game crashed in the 12th minute, leaving a reminder saying that the model was overheated. Well, then we knew where the issue is. Due to the heating issue, the OnePlus 9 Pro has to apply a pretty conservative strategy to protect the model from being overheated. Even though the phone still easily got heated up and the temperature of the model surface was really perceivably high, we noticed that usually the performance down throttling would happen when the surface temperature reached 47 degrees Celsius. Now let's see what we got in its camera department. The main camera features a customized 48 megapixel Sony IMX789 sensor, and the wide-angle camera using the latest freeform lens features a 50 megapixel Sony IMX766 sensor, and along with these two, there is one more 8 megapixel telephoto camera and another chromo lens. Before we show you camera samples, there are some important details that we want to share with you. One is that overheating protection also exists for the camera, and it happens quite frequently when you continuously use the camera for 15 to 20 minutes. When it happened, the phone would not allow you to use the camera to shoot photos or videos. Trust me, you would definitely be frustrated waiting for the phone to cool down and get back to work. Another one is the strange photo preview issue. When you capture a photo, the preview window in the bottom right corner doesn't show the exact photo that you've clicked. It's more like the moment when you click the shutter. Only when it is open, the real photo shot on cameras will appear. When you go back to the camera interface, the preview window eventually will show you the real one. The reason why OnePlus does it is probably to give users the illusion that the phone has fast shutter response and fast image processing. But the fact is that like most other phones, the shutter and processing delay exists on the OnePlus 9 Pro, but most of them didn't cover it up this way. And the high resolution option and the RAW option are hidden in the Pro camera mode. About the performance, we'll show you some samples later. Let's start with its main camera. We have to admire that the OnePlus 9 Pro is using hybrid focus technologies and has a real quick focusing speed. Most of the samples are impressive with a natural richness of color that is pleasing to the eye but not unrealistic. It did show off a close style of Hasselblad colors. At the same time, the images shot under the normal mode also got good contrast detail with accurate exposure. But what surprises is the raw image mode collects richer image detail. It allows you to have an excellent image post-creation, provided you are professional enough. The night samples were also stunning with great improvement of overall brightness, but its noise control is not excellent. And when shooting night modes with a smudged lens cover, we found that sometimes the 9 Pro encountered excess flare issues, which may immediately spoil your sample. So please make sure that you wipe your lenses clean before you begin your shooting, which can reduce the annoying flare to some extent. The biggest surprise should be the wide-angle lens. It's the best wide-angle lens that we've ever seen to effectively solve the issue of distortion and resolution. Its colors were pretty consistent to what we have on the main camera, being natural with rich detail. And there is almost no image distortion of the wide-angle lens. This makes us a bit excited to see how it performs in video shooting. And its night shooting is also not bad, but still has the same noise issue, which may get adjusted in the future updates. Both the main camera and the wide-angle camera support high-resolution mode with HDR processing, so if you want a better resolution on your photos, just remember to turn it on. The 8-megapixel telephoto camera supports 3.3x optical zoom and up to 30x digital zoom with OIS anti-shaking. The image quality is not bad, not only for good lighting conditions, but in night shooting. It also performs pretty well with good colors and exposure. Well, as for the last chromo lens, we don't think it's necessary to equip such an assistant lens for only one filter use. Actually, OnePlus offers 3 black and white filters on the 9 Pro. 2 can work without the chromo lens. Except for higher contrast, the one that works with the chromo lens didn't really show much difference. For video shooting, both the main camera and wide-angle one supports up to 8K 30fps filming. Although the 8K video has pretty good resolution and allows you to crop the proper image you want, it also requires a high-performance machine to do the 8K editing. On the other hand, the 4K 120fps filming is a real surprise. It allows you to shoot excellent slow-motion videos with great resolution, which only exists on some expensive professional cameras. Now on the OnePlus 9 Pro, you can create the same work. About its charging and battery life, just check the results here. Based on the battery life test we did, we don't really think that the battery life of the OnePlus 9 Pro is going to cheer you up. So that's all the details we wanted to share with you. Is the 9 Pro a flagship model worth buying? No doubt the answer is yes. But if you want to buy a gaming model, just skip the 9 Pro. As we said, it's not yet ready for gaming. But if you are looking for a unique camera phone, it definitely could be one of your best options. Also, please note that the system part we shared with you is only for the China version. We just wanted to share why OnePlus was choosing a different path in the Chinese market and why this time OnePlus is different. So that's it. If you like our video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and keep subscribing to our channel. The Mi 11 Pro and Ultra review videos are coming soon. Thanks for watching. This is Kieran from Gizmochina, and we'll see you soon.